Well, happy Tuesday. I'm so glad that you tuned in to this little devotional time together and that we could congregate. And I only wish that this was a FaceTime where I could actually talk to all of you and hear you and see you at the same time as you see me. So for today we're looking at another dimension of learning, and it is taking correction. Many different proverbs have to do with the attitude we have about taking correction. So here from chapter 15 are two verses that have to do with taking correction. Of course, we're talking about discipline, as it were. What these verses really say is that at every stage of our life, we need to nourish or foster humility in our life such that we do not consider ourselves above correction. So here are the two verses from Proverbs 15. They are verses 31 and 32. The ear that listens to life-giving reproof will dwell among the wise. Whoever ignores instruction despises himself. Whoever ignores instruction despises himself. In other words, actually, you are not doing yourself a favor by being hard-headed, stubborn, pride, and resistant. But if you are open and walk in humility, you are loving yourself, which is a good thing. Love yourself enough to sit down, take a second look, reconsider your first reaction, and make a good decision about an area where your life where you need to grow. But he who listens to reproof gains intelligence, says the end of verse 32. There's even another verse in the scripture that says, faithful are the wounds of a friend. I believe the context of that verse, faithful are the wounds of a friend, means that a real friend, not just an acquaintance, not just a colleague who actually may be in competition for your job, or somebody who doesn't like you, but a true friend is one who cares enough for you that they will say something to you that will appear to be on the surface a critique. Maybe you might even think it a rebuke. But it's calling attention to something in your attitude, in your personal response to things, or to your immaturity. It's interesting that 1 Corinthians 13 at the end says, when I was a child, I thought like a child, but now I have become an adult. The implication of those two verses in 1 Corinthians 13 is that you can be an adult, but still have attitudes, character qualities that reveal that you are immature. And of course, the whole context in 1 Corinthians 13 is love. So, are you defensive when somebody gives you a reproof? That's the biblical word for identifying an area of substandard being or doing or thinking or speaking. The ear that listens to life-giving reproof. Notice that these two verses in Proverbs are saying that the reproof that someone gives you is an opportunity to receive an upgrade in your life. Life-giving. And of course, if it's scriptural, what they're saying to you, then all the more life-giving is it. So there are some thoughts about taking correction. It's a mark of maturity. We don't like it. Our first response may be negative or defensive because it has to do with some pride issues in us. But if we allow humility to prevail, and if we believe even that God cares enough about us, a good father will correct his children. God does that with us. But he does it oftentimes through somebody else. Through a colleague, a friend, a family member, a spouse. Through another Christian who cares about us. God cares for you. Others love you and care for you and have your best interests at heart. God's best interests in heart for you. So there you've got the thought for today. Take correction. God can give you grace to do that. You may least expect it when it comes. But your response should be, thank you. Bless your day. Bye.